And there's really no excuse to not be successful in law school. You are your best and worst proponent and opponent. So
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is part 2 of my video with Yoshi from Law School Mentor, recent law school graduate. If you did not watch part 1, the link to part 1 will be down below. But yeah, in this video, he's going to go into more details about how he secured his big law position, how he's prepping to pass the bar, other things that he went through in law school, and just giving like some really good general advice. So definitely would suggest watching the entire video. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that, and I'll be back at the end for an outro. Let's talk about how you did get the Kirkland and Ellis position.
it is a long story because I felt like me getting Kirkland and Ellis was the penultimate, like the cherry on top of to everything I'm saying, right? It was everything I put into words and into action, and it was like the door unlocking to all the things that like all my hard work and the seeds I planted. I mean, I wouldn't have got Kirkland though without the grades. So first and foremost, but what makes my experience so unique is everyone and their mama will tell you that you need to go to a top 15 school to get big law, especially a top 10 firm like that. But for me, I did a lot of the legwork, and I mean, if I wasn't in the top 10% at a non-top 100 school, then I surely probably wouldn't have got even a second look. Mm-hmm. What's crazy is, this is the untold story of Kirkland and Ellis. What's crazy is you're getting the exclusive feature footage. When I first even got the interest, so I got the first interview through a job fair, a diversity job fair. So not even through OCI, my school. So that was already the first step of going outside and expanding opportunities. I was a firm believer that I need as many opportunities as I can. So I went to 2 job fairs. I did OCI. I had applied directly to firms. Mm-hmm. So by the time I had finished my 1L summer, I probably interviewed with 30 different places. Okay. Then you got callback interviews, right? So with Kirkland specifically, when I put in my information, and it's called bidding, when you bid on employers, you send in your whatever they're expecting, resume, transcript, writing samples, cover letters. Mm-hmm. I sent all in my information, but I was still waiting on my 1L 2 grades. Okay. And the recruiter hit me up and said, "We're impressed with your 1L 1 grades, but when you get we need your transcript before a certain date." Mm-hmm. And my school takes forever. So I'm hitting them up. I'm like, "Yo, I have Kirkland. They're interested. I need my grades yesterday, ASAP." So I kind of just prayed about it. And what's crazy is, so the deadline that they had asked for passed. So I was just maybe it wasn't meant. Mm-hmm. The next day I got my grades. And so I was like, you don't land any of the shots you don't take. So I'm going to send it anyway. So I sent it, and it happened to be in time. They gave me a screener interview. Mm-hmm. So I have my foot in the door. Now, simultaneously, I have everyone in my ear, everyone and their mama telling me, you need to transfer. You have great grades. Go to Northwestern. Go to University of Chicago if you want to stay in Chicago. I mean, I was talking to admissions in Yale, all these different places. Mm-hmm. But this was kind of against who I was, because I'm very confident. And as long as I have an opportunity, I'm going to bet on myself 10 out of 10 times. Mm-hmm. So for me, I landed AT&T. That's where I worked my 1L year. That was a great opportunity, a big name on a resume. Mm-hmm. Gave me a lot of experience, great tangible experience. Mm-hmm. And then I had a screener interview with Kirkland. So before even thinking about transferring, why I have my foot in the door. So why would I do that? Right. So then I have people tell me, well, if you ain't Kirkland, there's no need to. Well, of course not. But anyway, I had to make that decision simultaneously. And so I decided to bet on myself. To be honest, I never even looked at a transfer app.
Really?
I entertained the idea, mm-hmm. and I had calls, but I never once opened up a transfer app. Mm-hmm. So interview, I think my screener interview, so it's this story is so detailed. Mm-hmm. I think also what was key to this is, so during my 1L summer at AT&T, I also asked my boss and those who were over the program if I could do an exchange with a big firm, because we use them as outside counsel so much. Like, why don't I work on AT&T matters from their point of view, or like it within them, like work on their teams.
Okay.
So they sent me over to Sidley, Austin, right? I don't know if you're familiar with Sidley. But Sidley's like on the same sort of, well, I won't say same level, but same sort of grand scale of Kirkland.
Yeah.
So I went over there for a week. Now, this is where the story gets juicy, and I feel like I don't know where this is gonna go, but oh well.
We're here now. So.
We are here. So during my time at Sidley, I just kind of felt like, the culture really wasn't fitting me for real. I felt like, I was on AT&T Matters, but it wasn't as if they were like super, super invested. I mean, of course not, right? I'm not part of their summer class. They invited me to all the summer events, right? So I was able to like network, but I still always kind of got this like side look, like, what school are you from? Like, you're not even part of the class. Like, you don't really fit in. Like, it's fine, whatever. But that feeling prompted me to like use my opportunity to the fullest. And the platform I had there is I had access to all these top lawyers who went to University of Michigan and all this stuff. So I'm like, what does it take, right? What does it take? I have an interview actually with another big firm. And so I'm wondering just like what it takes to like, let me learn from your experience. Like, let me learn what makes you successful here. And it's crazy. So one of the events I went to was an informational for the summer class about like mergers and acquisitions, I want to say. One of the attorneys who was on the panel, I sent them a follow-up email and I was like, hey, I'm here for the week. Like, it'll be great to get coffee and just talk about your experience at M&A. I think I'm interested in M&A. It's like, girl, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm very thankful for him. I meet with him like over coffee for like 30 minutes. This is during the workday and everything, right? Like, but again, like, I ain't got nothing to lose. I don't work here for real. And so I sat down with him, and at the end of my conversation, it was very, very helpful. I asked him like, hey, do you know anyone at Kirkland and Ellis? And he was like, yeah, actually, someone from my graduating class I'm very close with, she works there now. She's the same year as me. You can hit her up and say that I said to hit her up, and just let me know how it goes. So get back to my desk. This memo can wait. I email her. Okay. She hits me up, I want to say either like that same day or like later in that day, and said like, yeah, we can get coffee. And I was like, oh, bet, perfect. Like, what time? During the workday. So the next morning, I like during like 10 a.m. I go over. No one misses me. Like, I go over and have coffee with her for like an hour, an hour plus. And I'm just like, hey, I have an interview with Kirkland. Like, I just want to learn more about the firm. I'm very interested. Like, what does it take to be successful? Tell me about the culture. Like, I'm very, like, just showing her how invested I was in this opportunity. And I made a great impression on her. So little did I know, she was up for like junior partner soon. And so she had a lot of sway, but I didn't know that.
Right.
And by the time I went to my first interview for Kirkland, so I talked to her and I asked her like anyone else I should talk to at Kirkland to maybe get a better understanding, et cetera, et cetera. She put me in contact with more people. So by the time I even got to the screener, I was name dropping like multiple people. I knew about the culture and all this stuff. So the screener, and what's crazy is I had 7 interviews the day of CCBA, 7 interviews in a day. It was hard to even like keep people and who you're interviewing with and the firms and the research you've done. But I had been well researched with Kirkland. And the funny part is I felt the worst about that interview because the 2 people who interviewed me were like so stale faced, like I'm really animated, right? I'm like pouring my heart out in this interview and they're just like, all right, next question. And I'm just like, all right. But I ended up getting a call back. And what's funny is the callback that I got, one of the interviewers was a Black male, actually on paternity leave. So he's very, very invested in diversity recruitment. He called me himself and to tell me before I even got the official email for the interview to come back. And he's like, you made a great impression. I really want to help you get your foot in the door. Let's have coffee before your callback.
Okay.
This is the interviewer
Yeah.
on paternity leave.
Uh-huh.
He on paternity leave got coffee with me at a Starbucks by his house, and we sat there for like an hour and a half. He's like, "Show me your interview list." I showed him who I was interviewing with. He's like, "Okay, this is the person you need to impress. This is what you need to do with this person. This is what you need to do with this person." Just gave me the game plan.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, I got a game plan now. Like, I just gotta execute, right?" So, I was well researched, very well researched. Like my first, for example, what that means. My first interviewer, I did a lot of research on every one of them, but she was like from, I want to say Argentina or some country where they speak Spanish. I'm not gonna say because I don't really remember. But I went in there and like I was speaking Spanish, like I was doing different things that like showed not only how well researched I was, but like how invested I was in making like such a great impression. So like progressive, I knew exactly who I had to impress. Like I knew I had to be confident with this person. Like so I just went in and I was well researched, but well researched as in not from the website, not the company website. Like this is insider knowledge. I'm very, very grateful for that. And really, what's crazy too is I had a lot of like advice, right? I had people from other firms that I was interviewing for rooting me on for this firm and saying like, yo, if you like, it's a rolling admission over there. You need to get in there as soon as possible. I was actually supposed to go to Jamaica. This was my like 1L celebrating trip in the first week of August, but I like, I think I actually like ended up going, and then like the first thing back, I like scheduled it or whatever. But I wanted to get in there as soon as possible because like it's a rolling admission. Like I just had so much advice, and then really the rest is history, right? I got the offer, and I still like entertained other firms. I was like flying to different places. That's the start of my 2L and just living life. But the pressure was off because I had an offer. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a great offer, right? So, I was really able to tell the culture. I did more research though into it, like talk to more associates. They're like, if we can do anything else to provide, if we can do anything else to provide more information, like let us know, right? Because now the ball's in my court. So I'm like, yeah, you know, I could take a couple more lunches, right? If you want to take me to more lunches, like, so just milked it. And then, yeah, and they decided by like the first couple weeks, because they had to leave the offer open, I decided to sign with Kirkland.
What I gather from that is that relationship building is really the number one thing. Like that's really what I gather from that.
But of course, I wouldn't have been able to get my foot in the door without the grades.
Right.
But like
grades and relationships.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is a question that's not on here, but let me ask you this. Do you know anyone, I'm sure you do, but can you think of like a story where someone didn't have the grades their 1L year and still ended up getting biglaw or getting what they wanted?
I'm sure I do. I can't like name someone off the top of my head because I know a lot of people, especially from my school, who got into biglaw, or got these like really great opportunities, were because of their grades at least first.
Okay.
I think it's also very important though to be well researched, right, and to make a great impression. So what's funny is like now that I've interned there for a summer and got an offer, they're very open to like if there's more people like you, Yoshi, like let us know. And like so changing that culture and being able to be a part of that. Grades aren't everything. I think they're also starting to realize that because at a big firm, if you don't stay like I think at least 3 years, they lose money from the training. Like you really can't do much until they train you very well and you get experience. So you get all this money, and if you leave within a year or two, like you lost the firm money.
Okay.
So I'm sure I could, but it's literally like it's people who can attest to who you are outside the resume, right? Like it's literally like a walking cover letter at that point. Like if people can sit here and say, Yoshi is like, I can tell he's hungry, he's motivated. I know he played baseball. I know he was a journalism major, so I know he's good with deadlines. I know he's good with working on a team. I don't mind working with him at 1 a.m. because we've had multiple times where we talked for coffee. Like he can hold a conversation. I'm not afraid to put him in front of a client. you got that from someone on the hiring board or anyone, like that's gonna go way further past some grades.
Right.
I will say though, so Jessica from Lawyer Bay,
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed her. Like that was her story. Like she got her job at a great firm from networking. I mean, and it happens all the time. Like I've had people literally offer me jobs on the spot just off of my relationship that I built with them without looking at my resume. So it happens all the time. Now the question is to what degree, especially in a place like Kirkland where they got Harvard, Yale, Northwestern, University of Michigan, like you got to be competitive. So it just depends on the place and what you're looking to go.
Okay, so I have another question. So if I remember correctly, you wanted to do sports and entertainment law, right? Do you still want to do that? Are you kind of switching that up now?
Yeah, no. So I will still look to go into sports and entertainment law. So I'm huge on biglaw. So for all my students who are specifically African American or Black, like you definitely need to be going to biglaw if you're looking to go into entertainment or sports. You need to be going to the regional events, the annual conference for sure. Mostly because of just the level of access you get there. I mean, I was just like a kid in a candy store, right? You got Netflix, HBO, like BT, CBS, Carolina, like all these different, like Revolt TV. And these are like not just lawyers. These are like general counsel and like president and vice president of like these huge. I mean, my mentor ends up being like Beyonce's manager from this conference. So it's like to know I'm one step away from Beyonce and Jay, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta go. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But again, it's all about being confident in yourself. And I think the biggest thing about law school too is you have to know your value before everyone else does. And the more you're able to communicate that value, the more successful you'll be.
Right.
Because again, I had to have confidence in myself to know I wasn't going to transfer, to know that I could go into a big firm, even apply there, to know, like, even when people were saying it was impossible, like that was me knowing my worth and my value when others won't, right? And even that's the thing about mentors too. You got to be very careful, just because a mentor will just give you what they see as the successful, like the path that you can attain. But sometimes that's the safe route, and I got the unsafe route in my head, right? I'm gonna shoot for the stars and hopefully land on the moon. But if you're telling me to shoot for the top of the building, I'm not even close to where I think my potential could be, right? So you just got to be careful. Yeah, so it's a multitude of factors.
Okay. So with that, with your confidence, did you ever deal with any issues with, I don't know, crazy students, racism, microaggressions, anything like that?
Ooh. To be honest, I had a lot of people hate me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It may not be blatant, but I mean it's pretty apparent. I mean, I'm very observant, but especially like one thing I will suggest to students as well is law school is very drama filled, right? And even if you don't look for the drama, it'll still find you. So an example of that is my 1 year. I barely talk to anybody. I move very silent. I'm like observing, like I got 2 ears for a reason. I'm listening more than I'm talking, unless I needed to. And I still found myself in drama. Like still, people were like, this person, like just hands down, like all these different things. And you can't let that affect you, one. But then outside of that, it's just like, as I did start to thrust myself into the spotlight, and what's crazy is like, I'm not really the type of person to just be like, give me the stage. But I know what to do when the stage comes. But I decided to run for Student Bar Association president. So that's thrusting myself in it. And the reason I ran for it is people thought, oh, he's doing this for clout. Literally, that was a rumor. He's doing all this for his resume. I'm like, I don't need anything else on my resume as a 3L. I could literally take it easy and be gravy. So no, that's not true. I had rumors spread, like, all different, like literally all different types of stuff. And I think a lot of it though is jealousy, right? And I'll tell you this, even I think really all through my 2L year, no one really knew I was going to Kirkland. Like the faculty, because I just kept that to my, like, I don't need to boast that, you know what I mean? Like it's just gonna create jealous. It's just gonna create more like hate. But then I realized like I had to balance that with, if I can inspire people to even shoot for it or they think it's realistic, then I'll share it. And so I decided to start sharing it. And if I can encourage one person here to say like, yeah, I don't go to a top 20, top 50 school, but he did it, so it's possible. At least I know. If I can give you the access, and that's what I'm so big on. If I can give, like, you can't dream it if you don't see it. So let me give you a way to dream, and I'll help you however I can to get to that dream.
Yeah.
But I mean, imposter syndrome's real. You definitely get all the drama.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be like real, like strong in yourself and what you bring to the table, because it's gonna happen, whether you like try it or not. I mean, that's it comes with PWI, comes with HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Law school is drama. You don't got anything else better to do. You kick with the same people. You probably around them too much, to be honest. And so I learned like a lot of things I didn't want to learn. You know what I mean? Like you hear all these different types. You hear the drama of school, who's sleeping with who. Like it's just like it's like high school on steroids. And these are like I'm not old people, but like we grown. Like we're grown. Like why are we still talking about all this? Like it's not important. And then aside from that, right? You take a test and you hear like, well, I put this for this answer. Like you got it wrong. And like people try and intimidate you. Intimidation factor, like because, I mean, there's inherent competition in law school, right? Your grades are based off of the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people from all different, like from all over the world in law school who come from the top percent of their schools, who come from a place where they are used to being the best. And it's a rude awakening for a lot of them. Not everyone can get in the top 10% or on law review. So, you know, there's people hating because people asking questions like, oh, this person asking questions again. But I'm going to tell you this, ask questions, because I wasn't really want to ask questions, but I asked them in office hours. But the people who are asking all the questions in class, they're the ones sitting next to me writing their law review articles. So ask questions. They got the last laugh.
Right. So next question, let's talk about the bar. How are you studying for the bar? Is Franklin helping you with that? How does that process work?
Well, they aren't sitting next to me studying. But financially they are helping.
They actually provided, and most big firms provide a stipend.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me a stipend for the summer. They paid for all my bar related expenses. They paid for my MPRE. They paid for the iPad that came with my bar prep stuff. They paid for, they paid for a lot of different things. So they definitely helped. I don't got to worry about that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But they aren't sitting next to me as I have to do this stuff. So I mean, it depends on what you look for. But financially, they definitely helped.
Is it like I don't know, different programs you can use, right? Like Barbary. I don't know. There's a few of them. Bar prep.
So the two popular Barbary and theme is, but like Barbary is like the old and true. Like that's just been standard. I went with Themis though because, well, the iPad, but no. But to be honest, I went with Themis because it just fits my learning style a lot better. Instead of sitting through like hours of lecture, like they break them up in like 15 to 20-minute chapters, and then they assess you. So like, I got the attention span of a squirrel. So it's I need something to fit into how I learn. And Themis is especially in the COVID now, right? You can't even go into the live classrooms anyway. So it's like, it's all online anyway. They have an attorney, as well as like reps who are assigned to you and check in with you, wellness checks, as well as like maybe the graders who will help you with the substantive stuff. And I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you passing the bars on you, right? Even if I just had that material, I have to determine what to do with it. So everything else is just a plus. But I went with Themis.
Okay. So I don't have any other questions. Like, do you have anything else you want to share? Any final words for the viewers?
I always ask this question. It's funny because I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do. I just think overall, law school is what you make of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been the best decision of my life just because of the access and just the opportunity that it presents. And there's really no excuse to not be successful in law school. You are your best and worst proponent and opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, use the people around you. I think minority students especially, we are so prideful, and we're so stuck on like, I got here by myself, like I'm the first generation this, I'm this, like let that go for real. Like there's a reason like our counterparts, like the majority, are so successful. They have lawyers in their family who tell them the keys, and like that happens organically at the dinner table, right? They have a mother and father who they come from who are lawyers, so they know exactly what they need to do to be successful. You need to do the same thing. So if it's learning from 100 different people what it takes to be successful in law school, seek it out. You don't have to recreate a wheel that's already been created. You may have to pull pieces from successful models, but that's also the reason why I created the Law School Mentor. I also created Encourage You Too, which is a nonprofit during law school. So there's definitely time. I created a nonprofit and I created this other brand. You have more than enough time to do everything you want to and more, but just don't minimalize your voice, don't minimalize your opportunity, and don't minimalize like the impact you can have on society, because you are really part of this 1%. Right. And I think access, platform are like the two things I harp on the most. You're building access and platform. So like, even if you aren't the most outgoing person who wants to take all the 1Ls under your wing. I mean, I ran a 1L diverse mentoring class almost every other week. I just took 1Ls under my wing and like mentored them about school and professionalism. If that's not you, great. But at least, even if it's for your family, like be like access to your family and give them hopes and dreams to like fight for something bigger. Like, because right now we're fighting a war, and not just a battle. Like law school is a battle, but it's like in the grand scheme of life, which is a war, like you have a platform that not many people have. And even just being a law student, people think I don't have much value to bring to the table. You have time, and you have a brain, and you have a mouth, right? And so like everything you learn, the people you have access to, the judges, the attorneys, the partners, all these different high profile individuals, like don't take that for granted and just own your journey. I think like you'll be very, very surprised. I would not have told you that I've been able to do as much as I did in the last 3 years, but I think it's the perspective that matters. So bring like a positive perspective, kill it like every day. And like, I think Will Smith said it the best, like in building a wall, you just want to like focus on laying every single brick as perfectly as possible. And you do that, the wall will be beautiful. And the wall I've built is just like fantastic now, you know, like barely see over it. So, but if anyone needs some help, please either you can follow me on the Law School Mentor, my personal page. You can follow, if you need some inspiration, you can follow Encourage You Too. We're actually about to do a virtual cook-off on this weekend to raise money for charity. But outside of that, like, please use the resources around you. Don't be afraid to ask for help and own it. You know what I mean? So if you need to contact me, you can follow me there, or I'll reach out and I'll give you my email address, or you can maybe post that.
Yeah, you like really went into in depth about everything, so definitely appreciate it. I wanted to take notes, and I was like, "It's my video."
Nah, I mean, so to be honest, it's like I said, nothing makes me special. I'm not special. The thing that I think what makes my experience special is I believed in myself when others didn't, and I continue to push myself past the limit of what I thought my potential was. So, you know, I think like the opportunities are so endless, but just ask. Like you literally, like, if you don't get a response, you don't get a response. That happens with networking. Like I literally show you, like, what's crazy is like all these different like business cards.
Oh my God.
I mean, like
Netflix?
Like, yeah, like it's not like anything crazy, but you have to be able to shoot. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna sink this out unless you shoot. So please, like get out your shell and really just like give your all, because you're spending too much time, money, and effort to not anyway.
Right. Way too much money.
Like the theme of the Law School Mentor is why survive law school when you could thrive. And I think a lot of us have this mentality of just, as long as I survive law school, I'll lawyer. But why not do it the best way possible? If you're going to invite me to the table because I look a certain way, because of all these diversity initiatives, hey, here's my hand. Where's my invitation? Right. You know what I mean? Like, what do I need to do? And being just, I think, average, if we can be better than average, like, do it, y'all. Like, I mean, there's just, I have a lot, I mean, I'm sure I have a lot to say, but it's just because of my experience. And I've done a lot of the legwork. So if I can make your experience easier, I'm more than willing to do it. And that's why I started the Law School Mentor, is to be able to give access to the platform and give access to the individuals that I've met that I probably can't even keep up with, for real, right? At some point, you meet so many people that you have to consciously pick and choose who you want to be your mentors and who you want to keep up with. But another tip would be, like, please update your LinkedIn. You can add me on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. But that's like a chess move, for real. Like, play chess, not checkers, y'all. So, but thank you for having me. And the reason I talk so much now is because I realize I can help people. Yeah. And so if it's like one thing that I said that you want like clarity on or anything like that, like, please just don't hesitate to reach out. I'm studying for the bar, but I always make time to help others.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm sure people will reach out to you with a lot of questions. So yeah, guys, that is the end of this video, the end of our interview with Yoshi. Of course, like I said, all of his information is down below in the description. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to him. He is studying for the bar right now, but he's very helpful, loves to give advice, loves to encourage people. So definitely reach out if you do have any questions. But yeah, my next video will be more about my budget. I know I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted to see that video. So of course, and if you're not following me on Instagram, here's my like socials right here. But yeah, so my next video will be all about how I'm budgeting for law school, my exact numbers. Of course, keep in mind that will still be estimates, but I'll show you like Georgetown numbers and UCLA numbers, because no, I have not decided yet. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that, and I will see y'all on Sunday. Bye, y'all.